Mosky, our buddy David Moskowitz. Mosky at the movies?
Yep, host of the movie review show Mosky at the Movies, which is available on social media. We'll put all the links up on our Big Jim's House page. You know what is cool, too? Mosky was also in Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling video.
Was he?
Yeah.
Mosky was also trapped inside Lady Gaga's pendant, which we believe is one of the Infinity Stones. Why was she wearing Infinity Stones last night, Mosky?
I don't know. Maybe to connect with Spike Lee's Prince Stone or something.
How are you, bud?
Purple. Not too bad. Good to talk with you guys again. Are we rolling or?
We're rolling. We're
We
live.
are live.
You are looking live. You're live, baby.
Yeah. Just another boring telecast, right?
So.
No, actually, yeah.
It was great. What was your high points for you?
Well, the high points for me were the Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper performance of Shallow. Just absolutely brilliant. Where everybody's hanging on the edge of their seat watching the performance. Seems who's going to get nervous. I was actually looking to see if Bradley Cooper's going to be flat a little bit with his notes. You know, I don't know if you saw the Lady Gaga Vegas residency. He actually stopped by her show there, and they did it. It was on YouTube. And he had problems with his earpiece, and he was flat a little bit. So I was kind of wondering how he's going to do here. He said he was going to be really nervous performing.
Now, see, I thought it was awkward, and to me, it looked like Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper have some kind of weird sexual something going on, and I was like, what on earth is happening? Like, yeah.
Well, that's been going on, it seems like for weeks and weeks, and, Bradley Cooper's wife actually sat next to Lady Gaga as well, so it makes you wonder, does his wife, is she okay with it? But also, Lady Gaga just broke up with her fiance, right? The
yeah.
guy, agent. So
yeah, that's weird.
So it makes you wonder: did that cause the breakup with her and her fiance? You know what I mean? So it makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes with that. Are they really accepting this relationship between her and Bradley Cooper, or is it just?
If Bradley Cooper then is over, break the moment up, would that have been good?
Oh, I know, right? Something good, exactly. What was really interesting, I just love. Speaking of which, I just love Spike Lee's reaction when Awkwafina was up there on the stage, her and she's talking about how she met Spike Lee in the lobby or something, and his reaction was, "Who are you?" You know, this is hilarious. You remember they cut to him? I thought that was hilarious. But another highlight for me was, and maybe for you guys too as well, was the opening of the show of Queen and Adam.
Yeah, classic rock station. Obviously, that was we were about that.
Yeah. What a great way to start, especially a hostless show. You got to do something. It was great, and it really, it was engaging. It was kind of cool to hear a little bit of a medley. What I think would have been cooler, though, guys, is if Rami Malek came out in the Freddie Mercury, that T-shirt he was and wearing the white beater shirt in the movie, just for one song. You know what I mean? Just to, even though we know he's not Freddie Mercury, just for one song came out, it would have blown people away.
That would have been cool.
I would.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, though, I got to ask you, because I thought it was great without a host. I didn't miss the stupid monologues. I didn't miss any of that. I thought how they opened it up. I thought the people that they had as presenters was great, and I don't think we need a host.
I agree with it totally, completely. In fact, I think way better than if Kevin Hart was doing it, forcing jokes in the throat, or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson doing his skits that he had in mind. Even Will Smith, I know, Big Jim, your favorite actor, one of your favorite, but it was a little humorless. Aaron and Big Jim, but we'll take it if it's 30 minutes less with no host like Jimmy Kimmel trying to force these tape skits down our throat. It was just pure and simple, just the movies and the singing, and that was it. Pretty straight up.
So
we'll take it.
I love to ask this question, people like you, Mosky, that you were so in obviously what you do for a living, watching movies. Out of all the films that were nominated this year for Best Picture, say somebody's listening right now and they go, "I haven't seen any of them." Just say they haven't seen any of them. What's the one movie you'd have them go see first?
All right, I would have them go see first Green Book. I keep telling people, I say, you got to see Green Book. I've seen it twice. I go, and the second time I even liked it even better. There was some nuances to it that I hadn't noticed. I was like, this film is just absolute. Scenes move along, the story, the historical significance of it, the racial significance of it, the character developments, everything. And I'm from New York, so I love anything New York oriented, and the music. So I would say you got to see Green Book. Number two, that's a great question you asked, by the way. Number two, and I was telling people last night this, I go, you got to see Skin. What is Skin? Skin, by the way, won the Oscar for Best Short. It's a 30-minute movie directed by this Israeli director who moved to L.A. 5 years ago, and they were the most enthusiastic when they won. Did you see that speech? They're like, "Oh my God, he's so great, he's so great!" You know, him and his it has to do with racial implications in a small town. I want to give it away because it's absolutely brilliant and it makes you think. Skin.
Hey, the other movie, Roma, a lot of talk, obviously, last night, a lot of awards for that, Best Director and a lot of foreign language film. I read somewhere that Netflix had invested $30 million, is that right, in a push to get these awards. How much does that have an influence to get these nominations over the top?
A lot. It's like lobbying. A lot of actors don't get it. A lot of filmmakers don't get it. What's the key is marketing promotions. And you see that when Mark did a brilliant job of that, going to all these screenings. I went to a couple of them and met some of these actors as well. And that's what will attract Academy voter to vote for you. It's a lobbying effort. It's just like a politician. You got to shake hands, got to these screenings. And you see Rami Malek all over YouTube and all these interviews. So that's what it takes. And there's an article, I believe, in the LA Times about the marketing director for Roma, who's worked on other prominent films, who's done the marketing campaign for Roma. And that's, I believe, what's really helped it. Because I think it's overrated, in my opinion. I think it's a good film. It's not a great film. It's a very simple story. And interesting the way it was directed, but I think it's overrated.
So when do they vote then? When do the people in the Academy, what is the window for them voting, Mosky? When do they actually have to cast their votes?
I think it was 2 weeks ago was the deadline. It's in early January. So I was talking to an Oscar voter about that. So they have about a 4 to 5 week window to vote, and it's locked in about 2 weeks ago.
So do most people wait till the end of it? I mean, end of that period to cast their vote?
That I don't know, but it's just like voting. Like some people, they send in their ballot. I send in my ballot. Some people vote the day of the election. I'm talking about like an election, a political election. It's the same thing I think with Oscar voters. But what I was going to say was, here's the thing too, and an Oscar voter told me this: the Golden Globe Awards is kind of like a cheat sheet because it's kind of forecasting what's going to be nominated. So it's kind of it takes the wind out of the Oscar sails a little bit, the Golden Globes. And I kind of agree with that. It's kind of like the Cliff Notes. So there's certain things, it's award season. So you got all these award shows, SAG Awards, this award, BAFTA Awards, Directors Guild, PGA, you hear about all this stuff. Have an influence on an Oscar voter's vote. You know what I mean? Basically, you go like, wait, you know what I mean? If Rami Malek's won all these awards, but Glenn Close, Bob, I may chime in. I'm shocked that she didn't win the Best Actress Award because she's won all these other awards in the award season.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was that the big surprise for you? Because, I thought Olivia Colman is incredible, but I didn't anticipate her winning for Best Actress at all. I thought it was either going to be for Lady Gaga.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It came out of the blue. Nobody expected that. She did a good performance, Olivia Colman. You saw the movie, right?
It's hysterical.
Yes, terrific, but you go, wait a minute, Glenn Close. See, Glenn Close, I don't believe had an award-winning role. It was a great film. It was interesting concept. It was deep, but it wasn't a great Oscar-winning performance. Even Olivia Colman, it was intriguing. It was different, with the lesbian aspect to her role, and especially in the Elizabethan times. It made and the way it was shot with the fisheye lens. So I was shocked about that. Also, Emma Stone, by the way, in the same movie, I was surprised she didn't win for Best Supporting Actress.
You know what, though?
Was a shoo-in,
I knew Regina King was going to win for If Beale Street Could Talk just because of the buzz leading up to that. But you're right. Emma Stone's performance in The Favorite, because it was actually one of my favorite films that was nominated, Rachel Weisz, as well as hysterical. Right. Just that film is bizarre, but it was so entertaining to watch.
Well, we do know, Mosky, though, that honestly, the Academy made a decision that there was no way Glenn Close could win because she couldn't get up, if it's true that she was wearing a 42-pound dress last night.
No, well, if she brought her dog on stage, maybe she would have won the thing, That's what she did at the IFP West Award. She brought her dog. She just like the one at the night before, and here she doesn't win the Oscar. I mean, go figure. But anyway.
No, we heard that, though. Seriously. Someone said, People Magazine said that her dress weighed 42 pounds.
Wow.
Come on. That can't be right.
Wow. No, that can't be that.
42 pounds?
42 pounds. No, it would have been, what's her name's dress with all the little animals on it.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever done with her hand puppet. I found it entertaining.
I know, right? That's
say,
probably one of the funniest things in the whole piece, right?
Yeah, but if she went up there with a 42 pounds dress, she would look like number one from the Umbrella Academy. So anyway.
Yeah.
So now that we've got Roma, we got the Netflix stuff going on. We're starting to see this. Is this the trend now? Is like, for example, I was telling somebody Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime, great series. It was fun to watch, but you could take that and cut out 3 or 4 episodes and make a 2-hour movie out of it, and it would work.
Correct. I totally agree. Every year it changes. Every year it's different. Last year, remember, it was The Shape of Water, and you go, wait, there's a creature from the Black Lagoon. This film wins. As a trend with all these Spanish filmmakers, they call it the Three Amigos. With Alfonso Cuarón being one of them, who also directed Gravity. You go, is it just this trend of these Spanish filmmakers winning these awards? I don't know. But honestly, let me just say this. I do have a problem with a film like Roma that's nominated not just for one category, Best Picture, but also for Best Foreign Language Film. Why is it in those 2 categories? It is a foreign language film. It has subtitles. And the same goes for Cold Waters as well, for a director that was nominated for that movie Cold War, which is a foreign film. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Never thought of it that way.
I don't dig that. I really don't. But one of the things, let me just say this, one of the things that really stood out to me, because I went to film school with him, was Bryan Singer. This is a guy who directed 80% of Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Imagine, you direct 80% of the movie. You spent years prepping this movie. It took 10 years to make, but the last couple of years he spent making it, and I saw his Instagram videos with Brian May and the band and everything, and Rami Malek. But he wasn't there. He can't, because of his reputation of alleged sexual molestation,
Right.
and so I'm just saying, it's kind of a sad thing, but it's not obviously mentioned. It would have been great if he was even nominated for Best Director as well, but he wasn't.
Hey, can I ask you a question then? Since you brought this up, one thing, Mosky, I wanted to touch on that, because I was talking last night, my wife and I were watching it. What was the biggest objection that Brian May and the folks had to Sacha Baron Cohen's version of Freddie Mercury's story that they put the kibosh on?
That just from what I read, there's this creative differences. Maybe that's just why I read this the direction Sacha Baron Cohen wanted. I think it would have been a bad move, by the way. So it makes you wonder, what were they thinking with Sacha Baron Cohen? What would he have, you know what I mean? It would have been a kind of a parody of the role. It wouldn't take it seriously, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because everything he does is kind of tongue-in-cheek anyhow, or a little strange.
Yes, correct. Like the recent TV show he did, just kind of doing these pranks on prominent people.
Yeah.
Disguises and stuff like that.
So am I jumping on the way too early bandwagon? So now that we've got the Black Panther thing out there, and we got some of the Marvel movies now that are getting nods, Brie Larson for next year, everything I'm hearing about Captain Marvel, and it's super early, but my God, it looks like a kick-ass movie.
Yeah, I honestly haven't seen it because I've been watching all the Oscar-nominated stuff, and I've seen everything, including short films, short documentaries. But I heard it's terrific, too. A friend of mine just said it was great. So maybe, I think it's a good trend to see now superhero movies being appreciated, including like Spider-Verse, right?
Oh.
Spider-Man Spider-Verse, which won for Best Animated Movie.
I saw that movie 3 times in the theater.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. With my 15-year-old son, Adam, and I looked at each other, and we were going to go back to the movies. And I'm like, what do you want to go see? And he goes, Spider-Man. I'm like, game on. And we went right back.
Wow.
I love that movie.
Wow. And so do a lot of other people, and hopefully that'll be a trend as well. You talk about the trends, so hopefully superhero movies being appreciated now for what they are.
Yeah.
For the artistic value of it.
I can't recommend it enough. Actually, you know what? The Black Klansman, I have to admit, I did not know what to expect because of Spike Lee joint. That movie was another pleasant surprise to me.
Yeah, it was really intriguing, especially, somebody who got robbed in that movie was the guy who played the Klansman, David Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was such a great, realistic portrayal of it. Even some of the other actors in the Klan group in the movie. And the guy who played David Duke was his name just eludes me right now. I thought he got robbed as far as the performance on that. And also Denzel Washington's son, I believe, should have been should have been nominated as well.
Oh, it's such a good movie. And Adam Driver,
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was,
he was
yeah.
wonderful in that.
He's
I mean, just,
great in
great role.
everything now.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Mosky.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Most awkward moment last night?
Spike Lee, definitely the speech. He was so awkward, bumbling, incoherent. And in fact, the beginning of the speech was bleeped out. He was actually said something to the effect of, and I won't say the word. I'll just kind of hyphenate it. He said, "Stop that effing clock." This is what was bleeped out, right? And then he gets into the 400 history of slavery and then, of course, he talks about Trump. And by the way, Trump put a tweet about that saying, "Hey, wait a minute, I did a lot for black people." Trump put a tweet this morning.
Of course he did.
Yeah,
Dad put the Twitter down.
But
Yeah.
I thought it was weird too, and here's why: because we didn't really have the political undertones this year, which I appreciated. I want to see who's winning. I don't care about your damn political opinion. I want to see trophies handed out. I want to see performances. I don't care about all of that, and I think he just kind of derailed the whole mood of everything for a while.
Exactly. If it's your first Oscar you win, why would you blow it? And wouldn't you appreciate the people that worked on the movie and the people that wrote the script? Instead of kind of going into the, like I said, political jargon and the history of slavery and this and that. But that's Spike Lee.
He's weird.
And look. By the way, when the movie Green Book was announced, the winner, the Best Picture.
Oh, he was not happy.
Exactly. Apparently, he turned his back on watching what was going on the stage. He apparently walked out. He wasn't happy about it. And what a sore loser. You know what I mean? It's not good sportsmanship, in my opinion.
And a good job on Jeff Bezos showing up with his assistant last night at the Oscars. What are you thinking, dude?
Yeah,
come on,
really.
take 1 year off. Take 1 year off and let that blow over.
I know. Well, what about Robert Kraft?
Right.
He was at some pre-Oscar parties. I'm just glad they didn't have shots of Robert Kraft because today apparently he's going to be served, supposedly, a subpoena or something like that, arrest warrant. But so apparently he's here in L.A. and like I said, Jeff Bezos. Thankfully, there's no camera shots on him. And you notice his girlfriend wasn't there.
No.
So go figure what's going on with that.
It's weird, man.
Selma Blair.
Yeah, it is.
Selma Blair. Did you even know she had MS?
I heard about it, and I was reminded of it from an article I read. But it's pretty sad, isn't it? It's like, really? And she's
Beautiful.
walking with a cane now or something?
Yeah, Jim and I were talking about it because he mentioned, he's like, did you see Selma Blair with her cane? But I wondered what happened to her because she just kind of fell off of the Hollywood sign. And then last night, anything stand out to you? Because I thought they dropped the ball on a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Here's what stood out to me. Okay, you got Green Book that won the Best Picture, right?
Yep.
And it also won the Best Original Screenplay. But Peter Farrelly, the director of the Farrelly Brothers fame, he got robbed by not even being nominated, one of the 5 nominees for Best Director. I mean, the guy who was nominated, one of those slots, Best Director, I thought it was overrated, too. I think, how could the guy from Cold War, the director, Pavel, and I won't even pronounce his last name, how could he be nominated but not Peter Farrelly, who's the director of one of these top 8 films, and an American director, you know what I mean? And this film wins, and Alfonso Cuarón of Roma wins for Best Director? I mean, give me a break.
We do have the one, Mosky. We do have the one drop of Peter Farrelly, though, when they won for screenplay that everybody in Detroit's talking about.
Shinola watches, unbelievable. They're saving Detroit.
Everyone, it was so random. All of a sudden, like, okay, he just gave a shout out to Shinola watches. All right, thanks, Peter.
Yeah, right. Well, right. Also, too, Regina King, in my opinion, I know you like her, Aaron, but I didn't think she deserved it for just one scene at the beginning of Beale Street. Have you seen Beale Street?
I watched part of it, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly. I actually did not like the film. I thought it was tedious to watch, not realistic, boring. And I kept looking at the clock, my watch. Speaking of watches, when is this thing going to end? But that one scene was terrific, but that's it. One of the things, too, that stands out to me is for Best Actress, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about Olivia Colman winning for the Best Favorite, but I think Rosamund Pike got robbed by not even being nominated for Private War.
Oh,
I don't think a lot of people saw it, but have you guys seen it?
I did see it. Her performance was mind-blowing. It was really good.
Right. Am I right? Don't you think I know you saw The Favorite. You love Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Aaron, but would you agree with me that Rosamund Pike should have won it if she was nominated for the Best
She should have been nominated. At least should have been nominated.
Yeah,
But
correct.
you know,
Yeah.
you're 100%. There. I don't know. Sometimes the Academy just.
They just dropped the ball. About a couple. Oh, can I just Big Jim? And there you mentioned this. You asked me about what stood out. Can I just mention a couple of things here?
Yeah.
Mary Queen of Scots. Mary Queen of Scots, along the same lines of The Favorite kind of movie. Elizabethan should have been nominated, and the actresses as well. In that. Mr. Rogers. We talked about this before.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
I watched it.
The documentary. Right. Right. Mr. Rogers should have been nominated, as well as Three Identical Strangers. Have you guys seen that documentary?
What I've heard about, I've heard about this one, but kind of for folks who aren't, I don't honestly. I've heard the name Mosky, not just saying that, but I don't remember what the premise of it is. Yeah.
No. The premise is these three twins, born in the '60s, were separated due to an experiment, unbeknownst to all of them, and they were tracked by these scientists along the way, and they had no idea until it just they saw something in the news. One contacted the other, and go, "Wait a minute, we're triplets. We're separated. What's going on here?" So they're part of an experiment. It was fascinating. I don't think a lot of people saw it, but that should have been nominated. And one last thing, you talk about the Academy dropping the ball, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the memorandum is all the names?
Yeah, you know who they forgot that pissed me off? Carol Channing.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't think. But you know who I knew they missed is Vanessa Marquez. She was on ER.
Vanessa Marquez, Dick Miller.
You got Aretha Franklin. You may not consider her like an actress, but she was in the Blues Brothers.
Yep, she should have been in there too. Good call on that one.
Vern Troyer wasn't in it.
I
mean,
Sandra Locke.
Yeah, it's weird. Hey, let me ask you a question. Since you mentioned the thing about real quick, Mosky, before I let you go, since they didn't, the Mr. Rogers documentary wasn't nominated. Does this it's a conspiracy theory to the nth degree, because the Mr. Rogers movie is being put together with Tom Hanks? Do some folks in the Academy go, they're going to get their run next year?
So, but you know what, though? There's so many new Academy members. There's been almost 1,000 new Academy members since 2018, since a year to 2 years ago. That I don't think that happens anymore. It used to be like that, so somebody's going to get their due. Like, Glenn Close should have won it, but she didn't. You know what I mean? So things are changing, I think, because of the dynamic, of the voter block of the Academy. That's a great question, though.
That is a friend of mine whose kid's going to Michigan State. They're actually watching that documentary as a sociology class. Because of him.
I just finished it, and I learned so much about that man's life and the things that he did, and listening to his children and his wife talk about him as a human being. I'll tell you what, it blew my mind. The impact he had.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So documentaries now are becoming more prevalent, coming back again, and they're making. I think that movie, Mr. Rogers, made $15 million, and they're getting good distribution now. They're coming out of Sundance, and they're getting distribution. They're getting picked up. They're making money. So it's very marketable now. Even RGB, which I thought should have won, about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that should have won over Free Solo. That's just my opinion. And then
last thing I have to vent about is I still don't understand why A Quiet Place wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
I don't get that.
Honestly, and I met. I was one of the few people that got to meet John Krasinski at a screening after that film. And by the way, they're making a sequel. He's making a sequel of that with his wife. They're negotiating his wife, Emily Blunt, who played Mary Poppins, to be in the movie again to knock down her salary. Part 2. It was, you know what? I hate to say it like this because I thought was it Bird Box? I thought that should have been nominated in some way. So you try to compare Bird Box. Did you guys see Bird Box?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bird Box vis-a-vis A Quiet Place, and I just thought, A Quiet Place was missing. There was something missing to it. I can't put my finger on it. I think it was an engaging concept, but it wasn't all that for me. You know what I mean?
See, isn't this funny, Mosky? Because I'm the other way around. I think Bird Box was missing something, and Quiet Place was a more even-keeled performance as a movie. Or isn't that weird how you look at stuff differently? Yeah. I thought Bird Box had a part in the middle where I'm like, what are we doing here? But that's interesting you say it that way. That's neat.
Yeah, and how the ending, Bird Box, the ending was disappointing. But we'll see how part 2 goes, Yeah. But A Quiet Place is a fascinating concept. And I agree with you, though. It should have been nominated. It should have been one of the 10 nominated.
Something. They had room. They had room at the end for that. All right, Mosky. Of course, everybody wants to follow you, mosky@themovies.com, and, of course, on social media as well. You're everywhere on your AOL chat room and stuff, and on Ask Jeeves. I'm trying to do outdated social media references, Facebook. Netscape, yeah.
Oh, you covered it all, yeah. Twitter.
We'll have the link up so people can watch your videos. Exactly. But I know you just auditioned for season 14 of America's Got Talent too, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, likewise. This is the week I find out if I'm on or not. But I think I made the promo for the show, AGT, season 14. So, yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Appreciate it.
If they can take out that 7-year-old who sings the national anthem out in L.A., everybody will have a chance.
I know, right? I mean, exactly. Otherwise, we got no hope. That's it. And that magician that just amazing tricks.
Right.
Forget about it.
So you got 2 people to knock out, and just or send them to a quiet place. Whatever you need to do. Mosky, it's great talking with you, brother.
Exactly. Likewise, you too, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it as always.
Bye. There he goes. Mosky out the door here. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live as well. Go watch all these movies at once.
I've just been chatting with the people on our video. So thank you, guys. We really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for hanging with us. Now, the best movie of the year, though, is Holmes and Watson. No, it's not. It's not. Don't